Good morning.
Good morning. We're on Facebook Live now.
That was a hint to her husband who's talking in the other room.
Yes, yes.
Welcome to Facebook Live with Merle and Patti, where every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, we talk about all things relationships. Finding one, fixing one, just talking about them in general.
Yes, yes. I'm too busy reading.
She's reading.
Tanya's here.
I am Patti Negri. This is Merle Singer. You can find us on Facebook as such. Also, Patti Negri Psychic Medium. Merle M. Singer is her professional page. Instagram, Twitter, but we'll do all that at the end with our pitch.
Yes.
But let's now, if you have any questions about relationship, anything about relationship, type them out here and we'll actually answer them.
However, our topic is...
Sometimes the back and forth works better than others. You go. You came up with this. It's a good one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember where I got it from, but can be an issue in couples if there's a wide discrepancy in the amount of income each person brings in. Particularly, I think if the woman makes more than the man.
Yeah.
So if that's an issue, let us know. But we have some ideas about it.
We do. Because again, we think we're a very modern society, but some of those old school values still hang in there. Man's the breadwinner and all this stuff, and that's very
and the
much
bed
different.
warmer.
And the bed warmer and the breadwinner, they have their place.
And that's it.
That's it. There's a whole... So, again, why don't you start with this, Merle?
Okay.
Because I'm laughing too hard.
Okay, so the issue about making... it seems crazy to make too much money. But I have clients now where she's not making any, and he's absolutely upset about it. They're a couple where it's his money and it's her money. So he's got the money and she doesn't have any. I don't think that's healthy for a relationship. One of the things certainly that worked for Nathan and I was that when we got married, I guess, I don't know how much we talked about things, but previous, but it was our money. It was in a pot. I have to say, as a woman who is concerned about having her own credit, because it's certainly not true today, but when I started out, if you didn't have a particular bank account or something, women could not get credit. So I always maintained my own bank account, but really the money was something that we shared. Now, it doesn't always work the same for everybody because different people have different strengths. If somebody spends a lot of money in a couple and the other one doesn't, wow, that becomes an issue.
Whether it's the money they make or the money their partner makes.
Yes.
Both ways.
Yes.
You don't save money like I do, you're spending this, or you're spending my money, which can even be worse.
Yes.
And we have to remember, though, we do come in with different perspectives. Carrie and I did. I was one, put the money in a pot, all for one and one for all. He was making a lot more money than I was at the time. And he, I think, due to some earlier relationships, because we were both older when we met, I felt taken advantage of because it was mine is mine and yours and yours. And we had to develop a different way. I had to open them up to, like, if we have a shared bank account, I'm not going to run off with it kind of thing.
Right.
So now we have lots of shared things, but there still is a little bit of independence, mine and yours. And again, we've actually very much compromised on this. And now we've kind of flipped. Now he's more retired except for the drumming on the breadwinner side of things. So. Right. But again, it's an adjustment because you come in with different perceptions and belief systems.
Right. You have to, so you have to start out with a certain, this is where your values have to agree, at least be moldable, at least be, okay, I don't exactly agree with you you don't exactly agree with me, but at least we can at least we can put it together enough. And like you said, and each of us, I as well, maintain some independence, but the overall, the big amount of money was combined. But we did share values in terms of how much money we spent on what. And we were able to budget. And frankly, the money that was being spent when we first got married was on the children Nathan brought to the marriage, which was perfect. You know, I thought it was perfectly fine. But that's I guess that's where you really have to talk things out. I, however, do agree that you've got to talk things out and have to. So it's not a matter. This is it, Patti. It's not a matter of who's making more and who's making less. It's a matter of having an overall agreement on what money means to you and how you deal with it. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. Because honestly, I think more divorces and breakups are over money than anything else. And that's sad that it's a thing over how you love a person. Because all of a sudden, if you don't discuss things, you think your wife or your husband, it's not always the other way, spends so much money, he buys expensive golf clubs, he does whatever he does. And you're sitting there scrimpling and saving, and you didn't buy that new dress you wanted, but he does. Resentments start. And if you don't talk about it, resentments turn into really, really negative things, and you just don't even care anymore. So why get to that point if it's somebody you really care about? Talk about it. You know, I feel a little bit, no finger pointing, no you spend money on this, because nobody likes finger pointing. Point at yourself, I feel this way. You know, when you're spending this and you don't sacrifice, I feel like I'm sacrificing more. Maybe, and then have a discussion without an accusation.
God, I had a thought. It just went away.
Come back. Thought come back. Thought come back.
Thought come back. Thought come back.
Money, men, women.
Another thought. I'm just worried about my coughing. It's more than anything else.
Drink water. You're good. So do you guys have any questions or even suggestions, better ones than we have, about how to deal with money issues, or what some different money issues other than what we talked about really are? Trust within the money system, how much we save or don't save, how much, even food stuff. Even it was really interesting when Carrie, though we were roommates when we first met, we were a couple roommates, but it felt too roommatey to me. Like, you're not some guy friend or girlfriend I'm living with. This is my refrigerator shelf. But I really had to work him out of that.
So I remembered what I wanted to say.
Yay!
When you discuss with each other, don't do it when you get really angry. Don't do it. Kind of hold it off and wait and say, look, he has other really good traits, or she has other really good traits. Let me focus on that right now and then when you're calmed down, it may even be the next day, then talk about it when you're feeling calm.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of important. Then do what Patti says, which is tell how you feel, or you can write out a budget, or you can say, let's sit down and write out a budget. So those are ways to deal with it.
And again, don't make the person, and most of us don't, but don't make the person feel bad that, you know, you make 3 times as much money as them, or vice versa. You know, they can bring different things if you're looking for some sort of balance in a relationship. It doesn't have to be financial balance, because, you know, I think balance is important with everything, even household chores, even everything along the line. But at least have an understanding. So, because resentments, I think, are the toughest thing to bring into any relationship. And
the other thing is, I would say keep this in mind, that your opinion is exactly that. It is your opinion. And you don't have to, it's not that what you know. It's not, well, she is a complete boob. She does all this stuff, and she buys all the wrong things. She doesn't work hard enough at her job. As soon as you're saying things about how other people should live their life and behave, you're on the wrong track, because it's not for you to judge somebody else. You can decide who you want to live with and who you don't want to live with, but you can't tell people how to live.
Right, because your realities may be different than theirs. And Bradley, our dear friend Bradley Monks, came up with a great idea, as he often does. Keep the date nights going. Yes, my husband and I, we try to do it weekly. We don't always, even after 16 years of marriage and now 20 years of being together. She could probably top that. But we do, oh, this is a date night. Even if it's home, we go barbecue in the backyard, or we go to see a movie, or we go to see a jazz band. We like to go out for music. And we still call them date nights. This is our time together. Keep that romance.
Yes, absolutely. And date nights are really, they're important if you have kids. You have to absolutely make sure that you have a date night and call it, like you say, call it a date night, or I don't care if you don't call it a date night, but make the date. Say, we're going to spend this time together. Or a lot of times we would just go for a walk, an urban walk. So, but whatever it is, it gives you time together by yourself. And that's a really good balance against all the things that we do that drive other people or others crazy.
Because we all do have things that drive each other crazy. I have 100,000 things that drive Carrie crazy. Carrie has 100,000 things that drive me crazy. We try not to focus there. We try to focus on what's together. And when you have that date night, again, it's getting away. We don't have kids to get away from, but we have two cats and a dog to get away from. And it's like, okay, leave them on to their own. And we go. So keep the romance. Because everything doesn't have to be what you should do, what you could do, what you need to do. Sitting there talking finances or who did the laundry or who didn't.
It reminds you of why you got together in the first place.
Yeah.
Which is that connection. You'll have to always, always renew that connection. And then you can deal with sometimes.
Cat barf.
Here's the deal. Whatever you do, it's going to be imperfect. Whatever conclusion you come to, it will be imperfect. Your life is imperfect. You're imperfect. But fabulous. Fabulous. And focus on accept. I think maybe other people are in our lives, so when we finally accept them, we've learned how to accept ourselves. Or maybe we finally accept ourselves so that we can accept other people. But somehow, that's always, let that be your focus instead of the specific money issues.
Yeah. And the surprise night, again, Bradley's coming in with stuff. He likes to do surprise nights when his wife doesn't even know, and he plans a night out for dinner and a movie.
Wow.
That's, again, keeping the romance, keeping the surprise alive. We get stuck in the mundane no matter who we are. So spark it up.
Yeah. That's it.
So thank you guys for your input. Any other questions? We have something to talk about. Backwardsly.
We don't care. You can read backwards.
For those of you in the Los Angeles or greater Los Angeles area, you could actually see Merle and I live and nationwide in this beautiful, intimate little yoga student healing center in Sierra Madre. It's this upcoming Saturday, August 4th, 7 p.m., and we're going to talk about all things relationships. We're going to talk about some of our philosophy and thoughts and why we know what we know, and then we're going to just sit there, talk to you, and answer any of your questions and get into real discussions. Again, very intimate. We can't even hold very many people. We're not going to allow very many people, but we want you there. So how can they find us? They can find us on Patti Negri Facebook, at Merle Singer Facebook. There is a Facebook event page which is called Relationship Advice from Both Sides of the Veil. It's a long one. Relationship Advice from Both Sides of the Veil. Because that is what we do. I do less psychic stuff here because we're sitting here looking at a phone on Facebook. But she's going to give her coaching, her 50 years of marriage advice, and I'm going to go with, and psychically I'm seeing this. So together you're going to get some really great stuff for $30 for a whole night fee, which is great. So So join us. If you can't find us, you know how to get a hold of us via Facebook, email, phone. We're really easy to find.
But please.
Join us this Saturday night. How fun.
It will be fun and it will be instructive. And one of the things I want you to remember is that even if you say, I can't think of any question, I'm looking for somebody, it's for people that want to find a love, people that want to fix the love, by the way. But even if you can't think of a question, sometimes someone else will ask the question, oh yeah, what are they going to say to that one? That's why it's important for you to be there.
Yeah, again. And some people, they can't find it. I mean, I know so many people who are looking for a partner and just can't find one at all, or equal amount of people who find a partner all the time, but it's always the wrong one. And often there's a pattern in what that wrong one is. Or again, not saying you have to have a bad marriage or relationship. This isn't about marriage to come, but we all have little chinks in our armor, little tweaks that maybe a little bit of advice that how you can handle something different to make your life that much better, to make your life relationship that much better. So please come Saturday night if you're in LA. If you're not in LA, come back next Monday at 11 a.m. for Monday Mornings with Merle and Patti.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Bye, everybody.
Bye.